to bless the souls who were with us till last year and they are no longer with us, to bless the souls of all of the shuhada of Karbala, especially the shuhada who are dear to Imam al-Hussein, especially tonight as we commemorate Hazrat Habib ibn Malahir, rahimallahu man qara al-Fatiha. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين رحمة للعالمين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من يوم ظلمهم إلى قيام يوم الدين اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I begin, may I ask all the brothers to move slightly closer to the mimbar, inshallah, and hopefully we can free up some space at the back as well. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. My dear brothers and sisters, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this blessing of being azadar, as it's called in Farsi and Urdu, but people who are mourning for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, mourners. This title of mourners in most regular situations is not considered a positive thing. But for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, being called a mourner is a very positive thing, because this is our identity. This is what keeps us fresh. This is what keeps us going. And to be a fresh person in life, the message of Aba Abdullah, mourning for him, crying for him, is considered ibadah, as we mentioned yesterday. Even saying and a sigh for Imam al-Hussein, for the dhulm and the oppression committed on Imam al-Hussein, is considered tasbih. Today I would like to share another hadith with you, connected to what we discussed last night. We said in yesterday's discussion, as we're trying to shift our paradigm towards Imam al-Hussein's paradigm, right? So first day was an introduction. Second day, we talked about a paradigm, second night, that Imam al-Hussein's paradigm is based on the belief on reality, belief on a creator who is the source of everything. Yesterday, we moved one step further, and we said that the paradigm that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam stood for is based on the concept of a body and a soul. That the human being is made of both, but the soul is predominant. The soul is the real human being. Today we'd like to move this paradigm even closer to the worldview that Abu Abdullah al-Husayn carried, right? Connecting it to yesterday's discussion where we left off talking about success. And we said Abu Abdullah and his companions gave us a standard for success. And as we recite in Ziyarat Warith, وَفُزْتُمْ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. There's a hadith, a beautiful hadith from Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, and he says, the one who would like to have the reward equivalent to the reward of the shuhada of Karbala, إن سرك أن يكون لك من الثواب مثل ما لمن استشهد مع الحسين. In short, if you would like to have the same thawab as the shuhada of Karbala, what should you do? فَقُلْ, then say, متى ما ذكرته, whenever you remember Imam al-Hussein, whenever you think of Imam al-Hussein, whenever the thought of Imam al-Hussein comes to your mind, just say this, يا ليتني كنت معهم فأفوز فوزا عظيما. يا ليتني كنت معهم فأفوز فوزا عظيما. Right now, sitting right here, if you were to and I were to say this, as we're remembering Imam al-Hussein, Allah will grant us the thawab, the reward of those who were with Imam al-Hussein. What does this statement mean? We're basically attaching ourselves to the paradigm of Imam al-Hussein now. We're attaching ourselves and saying, the values that they stood for, I stand for as well, by saying this. Oh, I wish, ya laytani, I wish, kuntu ma'ahum, I was with them, فَأَفُوزَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا, I would have attained and clinched that great success. So as we're moving ourselves forward on this paradigm of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, let's recite it together once more, so that we are included in the shuhada and their thawab as well. يا ليتني كنت معهم فأفوز فوزا عظيما. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. Brothers and sisters, yesterday we also left off the discussion at a point where we said something important about the hereafter. And we said that as an article of faith, as a part of our belief system, we believe on things that have a connection to reality. It's not fantasy. It's not fictional. It's not out of an imagination. Our belief system is based on the truth. One of the central parts of our faith, our belief system, is the belief on the hereafter. And we said that as the Quran expects from us not only a level of belief or iman on the hereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Baqarah, the first few verses that we recited, Allah says, وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. These people, regarding the hereafter, they have not only firm belief, they have 100% certainty. Before I get into the discussion about our paradigm, I would like to pause here and talk about certainty and yaqeen when it comes to our daily life. In our practical laws of Islam, in ahkam, in the fiqhi aspect, this yaqeen is a very special thing. And as a general rule, wherever you have yaqeen, you must follow it. You must go by it. Now, yesterday I gave an example. I want to complete that discussion today. Halal meat. We were talking about cheeseburgers yesterday, right? Today, I would like to discuss that in the same connection. We were talking about a Muslim, if they were to come and give you meat that is halal, obviously they claim it to be halal, you take it, right? If you don't know. Yeah? But here, if yaqeen comes in, that you have 100% certainty that this is not halal, even though a Muslim is offering it to you, you can't eat it. Even if a Muslim is giving it to you. Because they might not know, they might be thinking it's halal because another Muslim gave it to them, for example. But if you have 100% certainty, and which means there is not a shred of a doubt, then it is halal for you to eat it. Right? This is with regards to halal meat and haram meat. For example now, moving forward, at home, there's a piece of cloth that you know is 100% najis. You know 100% it's najis. Right? Maybe blood dropped on it. Maybe you injured yourself and you mistakenly wiped the towel that's in the washroom with the blood of your face, for example, and you put it back on there. Somebody else came in using the washroom. They didn't know. Till the time they don't know that it is najis, they have to assume it is pak. But you know, you cannot say that this towel is pak because you have yaqeen. You have full certainty. And here, and this is important, in certain cases, a masala might be a certain way for somebody because they have doubt. And when Sharia says when you have doubt, this is a solution. But somebody who has yaqeen, they have a different way of dealing with it. Same situation. For example, same cheeseburger or same towel, right? When you have yaqeen, 100% certainty, the ruling changes for you at the personal level. Another example is wudu. When I have yaqeen that I did wudu, sometimes I sit around and have a doubt. Did I break my wudu? Did I break my wudu or not? I have a doubt whether my wudu has broken or not. Question. Did you have yaqeen before this doubt? Did you have certainty? Were you sure you did wudu? Yeah, I did wudu. I'm sure I did wudu. The washing of the face, the washing of the arms, the wiping of the head, and the wiping of the feet. I did it. I know. But now I doubt whether, I had too much lentils to eat today, and I had too much dar, and maybe my wudu is intact or not. I have shak, I have doubt. Well, yaqeen says you take your wudu to be intact. Take it to be intact, no need to doubt. Go ahead and pray your salat. Pray the whole night even if you want. Pray salatul layl. Bismillah. With that one wudu, bismillah, go ahead. No need to doubt. Yaqeen is this special. It makes life easier a lot. Another example that I would give and move on is when it comes to something that we end up bickering a lot about when the time of Eid comes. Moon sighting. And sometimes mudslinging starts towards the maraji'. Na'udhu billah min dhalik. How can these maraji' agree on something? Why can't they agree on something? Well, maraji' have made life easier for all of us. Sharia has made life easier for us. If you have seen the moon and you have yaqeen, you can celebrate Eid tomorrow. If everybody else is in doubt and they're not sure, well, they have to fast one more day. But you have yaqeen. You have seen the moon, for example, right? Based on now the fatwa of the marja that you follow. Some marajas say you have to see it with the naked eye. Yeah, if you went atop the mountain, I don't know what mountain we have here in Edmonton. For us, we have the Grouse Mountain in Vancouver. But ala kulli hal, or some marajas say you're allowed to sight the moon with the telescope, right? With binoculars or with the telescope. Now, if your marja allows that, and if you see the moon, bismillah, you celebrate the next day. It's Eid for you. But why? Yaqeen. There is 100% certainty that the moon has been sighted, and you have that certainty, you celebrate. Everybody else may not have that certainty, they can't celebrate. Unless they have two witnesses who are just, who come and give witness that yes, we have sighted, two of us, or other people in the place where they share the horizons sighted, then it can be ascertained to be Eid the next day as well. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, this yaqeen is a very special thing. Truly. It gives us so much satisfaction and meaning in life. Imagine if I had to live my life always on the basis of doubts. I doubt everything. Everything. Doubt starting from tahara and najasa to the relationships that I am involved in. Husband doubts the wife, wife doubts the husband, the parents doubt the children doubt the parents. How would life be if everybody doubted everybody else? Had shak. Well, nobody, if they were to doubt and everybody else, life would not be peaceful. On the other hand, I have yaqeen. If I have satisfaction, if I have certainty on things, life is a lot peaceful. I know this is a certain way, it is a certain way. It's not a different way. In Islam, yaqeen is valued immensely. Immense value given to yaqeen. So much so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls death yaqeen. The verse of the Quran says, وَعْبُدْ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينَ. Keep obeying your Lord, keep worshipping your Lord, be in the service of your Lord till yaqeen comes to you. Well, some people started interpreting this as till certitude comes to you. Well, certitude can come to you even before you die. And you don't have to wait for certitude to start worshipping Allah. But the real meaning, as Ahlul Bayt have taught us, yaqeen here means the akhirah, the death itself. Today's paradigm that we would like to touch on is the reality of death, my dear brothers and sisters, and the place of the concept of death in the Hussayni culture. This is one concept that human beings are totally scared of. Nobody wants to talk about death. Nobody wants to hear about death. Right? That's something that we, in this culture that we live in, people feel very uncomfortable talking about. Right? And there are reasons for it. Well, somebody came to Abu Dhar and he said, why is it that when we talk about death, we feel like sweaty? We feel warm inside. We feel uncomfortable. And Abu Dhar had a very interesting answer. He says, and I'll, in our own style, say it. He says, you guys have not prepared for what's after. That's why you fear death. That's the reality. For example, if I were to now promise you or tell you, you give me some money and I will build you a house somewhere else, right? And as you keep giving me money, I'll pass it on and your house will be ready. Once your house is ready, I'll say, Bismillah, go into your palace, it's ready. Right? You believe me, you trust me, you'll take it from me. And Bismillah, you'll go. Right? But on the last day, if I were to tell you, sorry, there was an earthquake and your palace is all ruined and no liabilities on me, I'm insured, right? You will not like that situation. As human beings, we look forward to a place that is ready and prepared for us, is all equipped, fully furnished, ready to go with full ease and comfort. And we look forward to it, right? Those in this world who prepare for their hereafter, as they're sending their a'mal right now, their house in Jannah is being prepared. But if in this world they have not done what needs to be done to prepare their house in Jannah, when time comes for death, they'll be all jittery. They would not want to think about it. They would want to run away from it. And in so many places, the Holy Quran says, there is no escaping from death. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Every soul has to taste death, will taste death. There is no way out of it. Even in the Quran it says, you can rise and hide yourselves in the greatest of chambers, in the tallest of towers. Death will get to you wherever you are. Wherever you are, it'll come to you. So death is a reality. How do we see death? That is very important. connecting it to yesterday's discussion, if we think of ourselves as human beings who are only a body and no soul, right? What happens to the body when you die? Well, either you're in other faiths cremated or you're buried in the Islamic faith and the Abrahamic faiths, right? The body eventually goes and it rots in the ground, right? And when a person looks at life and the human nature as only the body, they'll say, that's the end? I'm done? So death means end. But in our paradigm, we consider the human being to be a body with a soul, where the soul is primary. The soul is my real me. And when I die, I am opening the doors of eternity towards my soul. Eternity. I will live forever. Well, if I were to tell you now here, Bismillah, this is your life forever, and it's a good life, would you hide away from that life, or you would look forward to it? Well, if we look at ourselves as a soul with the body, yes, the body will go into the ground, and inshallah will be resurrected on the Day of Judgment. But the soul is the real me, and it's looking forward to the rewards that lie ahead. My dear brothers and sisters, a quick example here, inshallah, I'll share with you to make it easier. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. When an infant, when a fetus is in the mom's womb, the fetus, what kind of life does the fetus have? It's all dark in there, right? It's all constrained in there. It's not a very comfortable place to be, right? But till the time the fetus is inside the womb, the fetus considers this to be the life, and that is it, right? When the fetus is born and comes into this world, there are changes, right? There's a process of adjustment that takes place. But what happens? If in the fetus, I would have told, or one would have told the baby, the fetus, that there's a life out there, the fetus may not believe it. What are you talking about? This is life here. This is fun. This is life. I'm living here. It's all good here. But if somebody says, no, in that life there is light. It's all dark in here. There you have ample food, nutrition, clothing, loving people. There's so much out there. Just wait till you get out. Well, the fetus will say, yeah. This is life. Same thing is happening with us right now. We, in this realm that we live in, we think this is the be-all and the end-all. But if somebody comes and says, you know what? Once you die and move into the next realm, there's unlimited bounties there. There is unlimited life there. You're going to live eternally there, right? We sometimes take it, pinch of salt. But if we not only have faith on it, but have yaqeen on it, our life will have a lot more meaning, my dear brothers and sisters. Today, one of the greatest reasons people become corrupt is because they don't have yaqeen on the hereafter. The greatest reason humans are suffering today at the personal level and at the social level, at the political level, is because the belief and the certainty in the hereafter is gone. It's gone. Now, I was in madrasa this morning, and alhamdulillah, I had a good meeting with some of the parents. Well, madrasa kids would appreciate this better. If all of you kids were to be put into one room, and I were to come in and say, kids, you have 1 hour, there are no rules, do whatever you like, there will be no punishment. What is going to happen? Come on, you guys tell me. Everybody's going to have fun, right? Everybody's going to do whatever their mind says or their heart says. And by the end, the principal will be very upset with me though, because it will be a mess, right? If in this world we're told that there is no accountability, humanity will go down the path of chaos. But if human beings believe, and this is the true justice of Allah, not all of the justice will be served on this earth. Eventually, the principle of justice dictates that there is a fair trial, and the providing of the reward to the one who deserves it, and the punishment to the one who deserves it. Not everybody who deserves reward is rewarded in this life. Not everybody who needs to be punished is punished in this life. That means there is an eventual realm beyond this realm where all of this justice will eventually take place. If humanity were to remind itself about the reality of the hereafter, this world would be a place where every human being will be in self-control. And life would be so much more beautiful, so much more healthy. Nobody would even take a cent from somebody else's money without permission. Today, thousands, billions of dollars are misused, appropriated. In different parts of the world, and I'm sure people have experiences from different parts of the world, even sometimes here. If people realized that even a small piece you will be held accountable for, as the Quran says, وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. If a person does an atom's weight of good, they will see it in the hereafter. And if a person does an atom weight of evil, they shall see it in the hereafter. It is so precise, my dear brothers and sisters, that we can't imagine. There was a pious man who was very careful about his actions. And he had a friend who had an agreement with the other that whoever dies first, make sure you come in the dream of the other friend. All right? So they had an agreement between the two friends. So this person, the pious man, who everybody knew to be a very pious person, dies. A year passes, 2 years pass, 3 years pass, and so on. This person doesn't come in the dream. Finally, after a few years, this person comes in the dream of his friend, and this friend is now baffled. He said, "You are such a pious man. I was expecting you to have come right away in my dream after your death. And I wanted you to tell me what transpired after death." So he said, "Yeah, I died. My soul was taken, and I went into the realm of barzakh, purgatory. And that is the realm between our death and the hereafter, where we'll be raised from our graves, inshallah." So this person says, they were accounting me for my deeds, and I got stuck on one small thing for which I had to pay for in this barzakh. He said, "What was that small thing?" He said, "I didn't take it seriously at that time, but now I eventually paid for it. I was given this so-and-so punishment for these many years, and now I've been given the freedom to come in your dream." So he said, "What happened? What was that small thing that you're saying that you think it's small?" He said, "One day I was walking between our village and the other neighboring village. And in those days, they used to have these donkey carts made of wood. Out of one of these wood pieces, wood chunks, was sticking out some slivers, some pieces of wood. So this person had a very good kebab meal. He had some meat stuck in his teeth. He just passed by one of these donkey carts, picked one piece of wood to use as a toothpick. He started using it in his teeth. He said, that one piece of wood that I picked up was the reason I was held back in barzakh for these many years. I didn't take permission for it. Brothers and sisters, this is serious. This is serious. If that one tiny piece of wood we'll be held responsible for and accountable for in that life, how are we living our life right now? How is humanity living life? Trampling people's rights left, right, and center. Not even caring to, ask for permission or even settle disputes between each other. Whatever comes in my grab, I take it. And as they say, finders keepers, losers weepers. No, finders are not keepers. You need to make sure whose it is. You go back, find out, and return it to the person. Brothers and sisters, the hereafter is our eventual home. If we don't build it properly, it will fall down on our heads. It will be destroyed. This is our chance. Just like Hur made his hereafter in a matter of hours. He had destroyed his hereafter. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite mercy gave him a chance and he grabbed it. And in a matter of a few hours, he made the decision where he went from la'natullahi alayhi to alayhi salam. Had he died a few hours before he died, he would have been on the Yazid side of the army. We would have been saying la'natullahi alayhi. May Allah remove His mercy from Hur. After a few hours makes a big difference. A few minutes make a big difference. This person turned his life upside down and came to the right path. Now we call him alayhi salam. May Allah's salam be upon him. Change in our life can come overnight. And let's promise ourselves that tonight, right now, if I have taken somebody's right, I will give it away. I will give it back. If I have hurt somebody's feelings, I will seek forgiveness from them. If I have wronged somebody, I will put things straight. I'll mend things. I'll set things back up. My dear brothers and sisters, this is what being human means. Being human means when you live in society, when you live in a community, obviously there are challenges. But you always come forward and solve them without leaving them aside to gather. Once things gather and they build one upon the other, solving them takes a big deal. It's difficult. And by the time things build up and move in the wrong direction, things are way out of hand. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a tawfiq to turn our lives around, inshaAllah, with the barakah of Ahlul Bayt and Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam reminds us that death is not too far. In one of his famous sayings, he says, خُطَّ الْمَوْتِ على ولد آدم مخط القلادة على جيد الفتاة. He strikes a parable with a necklace that hangs from the neck of a young lady. He says how attached and tightly closed a necklace is to the skin, to the body of a person. The death towards Bani Adam, to the child of Adam, to human beings, is this close. It's very close. We don't know. I don't know if I will be alive in the next 5 minutes or the next few seconds. We have seen, I'm sure we all have experienced people, they were healthy and they were walking and talking, and suddenly we hear the news that inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. They passed away. Said, shock. Yeah, but death is like this. We don't know. And it's not as if only older people who have crossed 50 or 60 will die. Well, kids die. Youths die. Well, we have people, any age. Death is a reality, my dear brothers and sisters. Unfortunately, with media right now, especially with video games, death has been normalized in a negative way. Death through killing, death through hurting, Today's video games, I don't want to name names now, but I'm sure we all know of many games. When a person is playing games where death is the goal of the game, whether to kill somebody, and with extremely extreme means. There are certain games that I just saw the teaser, the snippets of some of these games. I said, I personally, as an adult, can't play these games. I wonder how kids play these games. I find it to be heavy on my soul when I see these games being played. And it is something that we as parents need to be aware of, because this takes away that idea of death to be a point where we're preparing for and preparing towards. Death as the door towards infinite life and grace in the hereafter. My dear brothers and sisters, when Imam al-Hussein arrived in Karbala, and this is one last hadith I would like to share, he writes a letter to his brother Muhammad Hanafiya, and very powerful letter, but it's only a one-liner. One-line letter, but very powerful. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, as the hadith says, wrote from Karbala, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, min al-Hussein ibn Ali ila Muhammad ibn Ali wa man qibalahu min Bani Hashim. From Hussein ibn Ali, a letter to his brother Muhammad, the son of Ali, Muhammad, the son of Imam Ali, the son of Hanafiya. His mother was called Hanafiya. Imam al-Hussein says, this is a letter from me to my brother and to all of the Banu Hashim who are with him. And Imam has one message. And he says this, أَمَّا بَعْدْ فَكَأَنَّ الدُّنْيَا لَمْ تَكُنْ وَكَانَ الْآخِرَةَ لَمْ تَزَلْ. Two mentions, 2 points. فَكَأَنَّ الدُّنْيَا لَمْ تَكُنْ, as if the dunya never existed. وَكَأَنَّ الْآخِرَةَ لَمْ تَزَلْ, and it seems as if akhirah had never stopped to be. Wassalam. And that's the end of the letter. Amazing. Imam al-Hussein, what is he trying to tell us? And to tell, obviously his brother, but indirectly all of us. He's pointing to a very important reality here. This is a point where we shift our paradigms to the reality. My dear brothers and sisters, we can see what we can see with our eyes. We can sense what we can sense with our 5 senses. But there are certain things we can sense through our intellect, through our aql. And there are even greater things that we can sense through our soul, through our heart. Imam is telling us, saying, it's as if the dunya was never there. And it's as if the akhirah had never ceased to be. Imam is pointing to a greater reality. What we see is only a limited scope of understanding. There is a huge sea of being, of existence beyond what we can see. And what we can see includes the whole universe, by the way. Not only what we can see with our eyes around the earth, the solar system, the Milky Way, and so on. What we can see includes everything in the universe that we ourselves, scientists, are not yet sure what is the extent of the universe itself, with all these planets and stars and galaxies and you name it. The Imam is saying, it's as if all of this does not exist, as if there is an akhirah that is the true being. And my dear brothers and sisters, if you look at the verses of the Quran, it points us to that direction. The surah that I recited in Salat today as well, Surah Takathur, I pointed out yesterday as well. If we have ilmul yaqeen, if we have that basira, that insight from the heart, we can see the hereafter right now. Right now as we speak. There are individuals who have purified themselves to that extent. Their heart is so pure, they're so free of sins, they're so connected to the Almighty through His ibadah, through His worship, that they can see beyond the physical realm. There was a youth who came to Rasulullah one morning. His name was Zayd. And Rasulullah saw in his eyes redness, and his face was very weary, he was very tired. And Rasulullah asked him, how did you wake up this morning? He said, I woke up in a state of yaqeen. And this is the yaqeen we're talking about. Rasulullah said, what do you mean? Give me a sign that you have yaqeen. And he said, and Rasulullah took him aside because he started to say things that others would not have understood. Rasulullah asked him, what is the sign of your yaqeen? And he said, Ya Rasulullah, it's as if I can see heaven and hell right in front of me. And Rasulullah said, tell me more. He said, I can tell you right now, there are some of your companions who are in heaven, some of them are burning in the hellfire. And at that time Rasulullah said, don't say anything anymore. Rasulullah didn't negate him. He didn't say, no, this is all fantasy. Go, maybe you're still dreaming right now. No. There's reality. And as the Quran says, وَإِنَّ جَهَنَّمَ لَمُحِيطَةٌ بِالْكَافِرِينَ. There are certain individuals that Jahannam is currently overtaking them. Obviously there is Jahannam. It is there. But there is the impact of the unseen on the seen world right now as well. We in our lives choose by our own actions right now to be in Jannah or in Jahannam. Right now. Right now as we speak. There are certain parts of the world where you go, it feels different. You don't feel like leaving that place. It's so spiritually calming. Karbala is one of those places. Karbala. It's easy to get to Karbala, but it is very difficult to leave Karbala. It's very difficult. And according to my minimal research that I had, there is, for most imams, a ziyarah of wida, of farewell. But most dua books do not have a ziyaratul wida for Imam al-Hussein. I asked this question, and I was given this answer that for Imam al-Hussein, a mu'min can never bid farewell. Because Imam al-Hussein is always with the mu'min. When we go to Karbala, we just go to renew or refresh our allegiance to the Imam. But we take that spirit with us everywhere where we go. And we go away from this discussion with this last words of the Imam, where he says, إِنِّي لَا أَرَى الْمَوْتِ إِلَّا سَعَادَةً وَلَا الْحَيَاةَ مَعَ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا بَرَمًا. You really want to know where life is and where death is? Imam says, I don't see death except felicity and happiness. And I don't see life with oppressors except a drain on my soul. It's a drain, it's a drag to live supporting the oppressor. But Imam says, I don't see death except for happiness and felicity. My dear brothers and sisters, this is the paradigm. When we look at the Hussayni worldview, death is something sweet, as Qasim ibn al-Hasan taught us, sweeter than honey. Let's get ourselves prepared. Let's start thinking about death in positive ways. Let's go visit the graveyard more often, the cemetery. Let's connect with our marhumeen on every Thursday night at the very least, if not every day. They come, they expect that on Thursday night when Allah gives them permission to visit their relatives, they come seeking that hopefully our relatives will send us back with some gifts. Brothers and sisters, when we go into that world, we will be more in need of these gifts. Let's connect with death. Let's connect with what will happen after death. And indeed, it is through death that our souls will become lighter and purer. As Aba Abdullah has taught us, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together please. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam had these ashab who were not like any other ashab. Imam al-Hussein on the night of Ashura calls out to his companions and says, I do not know any more loyal companions than you, my companions, my ashab, and you are one of those chosen people. Tonight we remember the ashab of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. First we remember Abu Abdullah's companion John. Inshallah, we talk about John alayhi salam, the companion who was from Africa. Imam al-Hussein's companions were a great mix. On one hand, you had young and you had older companions. You had companions from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from the Arabs and Persians. You had companions who had been slaves and you had free men as well. But Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and his love united them. The spirit of the companions was such that nothing was important to them except Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And we find John alayhi salam comes to Abu Abdullah and says, will you give me permission to fight tomorrow? Abu Abdullah al-Hussein does not want him to feel as if he is going to be singled out for battle. Imam alayhi salam tries to decline. John becomes anxious. He says, Oh Abu Abdullah, why are you not allowing me to go fight tomorrow? Imam al-Hussein says, Oh John, you are my companion. John becomes even more anxious and he says, do you not want the blood of a black man to mix with the blood of you and your companions? Imam al-Hussein says, no. Rather, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam used to love John so much that when eventually John is martyred, Abu Abdullah himself goes to his body, to his place where he fell, and he takes him in his lap and he tends to him. Imam As-Sajjad says, when on the 12th of Muharram, when I came to bury the companions of Abu Abdullah, I found out of all of the bodies, there was this special fragrance that was emanating from the body of John, the Ethiopian slave of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, the slave of Abu Dhar alayhi salam. Another companion of Imam al-Hussein that we remember today is Muslim ibn Awsaja. Muslim ibn Awsaja is a companion who is very old in age. Muslim ibn Awsaja was known to have a situation that he would fight, and he was one of those companions of Rasulullah. When the army would see Muslim ibn Awsaja, they would hold back at times. When they would see him coming, Muslim ibn Awsaja goes towards the battlefield. When he fights valiantly, nobody comes towards him. He takes off his shield and he says, now come and fight with me. They came and fought him, and eventually he was overpowered and he falls to the ground. Imam al-Hussein runs towards Muslim ibn Awsaja, and alongside Imam there's Habib ibn Malahir. Habib ibn Malahir goes to Muslim ibn Awsaja. He sees him that he is breathing his last. He says, Oh Muslim, I know I am your tribesman, I am a close relative, and I also know that I will be joining you very soon. But if you have any last will, any wasiyah for me, I would like to hear it from you. Muslim ibn Awsaja points towards Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and he says, I urge you to take care of him. It is the person that I would love you to take care of till your last breath. Habib ibn Mudahir says, Wallahi, I will take care of Abu Abdullah. Muslim ibn Awsaja goes towards Jannah. Imam al-Hussein and Habib bring Muslim's body back to the camp. Now it is time for Dhuhr. Imam al-Hussein is preparing for Salat. Habib ibn Mudahir, according to some reports, hears from the army side, are you, Hussein, preparing for Salat, that your Salat is not going to be accepted by Allah? Some companions, when they hear this, Habib ibn Mudahir, when he hears this, he says, Mawla, I will join you in Salah. In the hereafter, in Jannah, I will go and fight these people who don't even believe that the grandson of the Holy Prophet has a right to pray Salah, or his Salah will be accepted. Habib ibn Mudahir rides into the battlefield. Who is Habib? He is such a close friend of Imam al-Hussein. It's somebody that Imam al-Hussein, when Habib came, he felt a whole army came and joined him. Habib is the one that when he came, according to some reports, Lady Zainab sent salams to Habib. Habib says, oh my, the time has come now that the ladies of Banu Hashim say salams to people like me. Habib is somebody who Imam would really bear strongly on him. Habib ibn Mudahir rides into the battlefield. He fights the enemies and he falls to the ground. Imam al-Hussein rushes to his best friend. When he sees Habib in his blood, he tends to Habib and he complains to Allah in these words, Oh Allah, these people, I entrust my blood and the blood of my companions to you, and I will take the reward of this from these people in the hereafter on the patience that I have to bear with. Ala la'natullahi ala al-qawmi al-zalimin. Saya'lamu alladhina zalamu. Ala Muhammadin ayyamun qalabin yanqalibun. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our amal, and may Allah make us companions of Imam al-Mahdi, just like how the companions of Abu Abdullah were. Matami Hussein.